This year, the largest cohort of soloist swimmers ever, with 480 joining a pack of over 2,200 other duo and team swimmers. Timing chips will now be included in your race packs. Welcome to this special edition of 10 News First. I'm Natalie Forrest. Whether this is your first time crossing the channel or you're a Rottnest Swim veteran, we've compiled all of the vital information to ensure you have a safe and successful crossing to Wodgema. The South32 Rottnest Channel Swim is a fun day out for everyone, but it also poses some serious risks. The Rottnest Channel Swim Association, also known as RCSA, works hard to mitigate these risks. However, it's up to you to be well prepared so you can make safe and sensible decisions out on the water. Thorough preparation means you and your support crew can relax and have an incredible day out. By now, all swimmers should be well conditioned for distance swimming and be well prepared for event day. Part of this preparation should be to practice your race day plans, to identify problems and find improvements before it's too late.
I always look at the swimmer's checklist on the website and use this to pack my bags well before the event day. You can find skipper and paddler checklists on the event website as well. I like to send these to my crew to make sure they're all over it too.
The most important thing to practice for duos and teams is the process of changing over swimmers. You need to ensure your changeovers are done correctly or you risk disqualification. Make sure to discuss as a group with your skipper and spotter which swimmer will start at Cottesloe Beach, how frequently you will change over and how you'll get your swimmers back to the boat.
Getting to know your swimmer before the event is crucial. It's important that you are aware of how your swimmer operates at their best so that you can tell when something just isn't quite right. To ensure a smooth race day experience, make sure that you and your swimmer have a good understanding of the feeding plans, communication between you and your swimmer, and positioning well in advance. Keep in mind that paddling in the event can be actually quite hard. Your swimmer usually is much slower than you, so you spend a lot of time almost stationary, circling back on yourself and back paddling. As much as you are looking out for your swimmer on event day, make sure you are prepared to look out for yourself.
If you are the skipper, make sure you and your boat complies with the Department of Transport's marine safety regulations. Your boat must be licensed to carry all passengers, including those in the water. All support boats must carry the required minimum safety equipment, including a working VHF radio and flares. You're also required to carry enough level 100 life jackets to accommodate all swimmers, paddlers and support crew.
The Department of Transport and the RCSA take safety very seriously. Equipment spot checks will be undertaken on event morning. In recent events, marine officers have turned back a number of boats for failing to have adequate or current safety equipment. So make sure you check what is required.
All paddlers are required to wear at least a level 50s life jacket for the entirety of the crossing. This means that your paddler will need to wear their life jacket when they start at Cottesloe Beach, Mudderup. Skippers will likely be departing before sunrise to get to the support boat holding areas, so make sure your vessel displays the correct navigational lighting between sunset and sunrise. The yearbook is an essential resource for not only swimmers but also your support crew. You should ensure that every member of your team has read the yearbook and understands your plan for event day.
In my role as skipper, my preparation includes carefully reviewing the yearbook, with particular focus on the event information pullout. This dedicated section comprehensively outlines crucial details and rules I need to be aware of on event day. Make sure you read it so you know where you need to be and when you need to be there. I keep this pullout on board during the event so that I can address any queries or concerns that may arise. Another great resource is the skipper protocols. This document is included in swimmer race packs. Keep this on board with you during the event for quick reference. The skipper protocols include correct radio channels, VHF 74, and the Channel Swim base contact number, along with how to communicate with the Channel Swim base on the day. and more essential information that you will need to know. Before event day, make sure your race number stickers are displayed on the boat and any tenders. Attach them to either side of the boat and above the waterline. It is suggested to add the sticker to a piece of recycled core flute to ensure the sticker is not a permanent feature on the vessel.
The Rotto Swim app continues to be a key tool when it comes to skippers tracking their course using mobile GPS, as well as receiving key event updates through push notifications. The app also allows your friends and family to track your progress. Emergency rescue boats can also use the Rotto Swim app to help locate you if you get into any trouble during the event. It's a good idea during your pre-event meeting with all of your team a few weeks before the event to ensure you have correctly set up the Rotto Swim app. Remember, only one person should be transmitting your position for your team, whether that be a swimmer, skipper, paddler or support crew member. In collaboration with UWA and Aurora Offshore Engineering, the route optimisation tool has proven to be a key to planning the best route for your swim and will be available closer to the event. The route optimisation tool uses forecasted currents and weather, as well as your expected pace and feed cycles, to plot a route optimised for event day conditions. You can then export this route and upload it to your preferred route plotting app or device, including the Rotto Swim app. This is a great way to ensure you don't get caught out by strong currents and give yourself the best chance to making it to the finishing line. If you have any medical conditions, check in with your GP prior to event day to make sure your condition is stable and you are fit to swim. If you take medication, make sure you have this with you on event day. Let your team know what assistance may be required in the event you become symptomatic. And now to event day. Whether you're a swimmer, skipper, paddler or support crew, it's important to know what your role is and have a plan. Skippers, as soon as you are on the water, make sure your marine radio is turned on and switch to the dedicated race channel VHF 74. Ensure the volume is up nice and loud on channel 74 throughout the day. Key Channel Swim base announcements will also be sent to you via push notifications through the Rotto Swim app, so make sure to pack a charging cable or portable charger for your smartphone. At the start line, support boats are to remain at least 1,000 metres from the shore. There are buoys set on both the north and south side of the channel, which marks the boundary. Support boats can wait anywhere beyond that, but cannot proceed towards the swim channel until the boat coordinator calls forward your swimmer's wave. This will be communicated via the race channel VHF 74. Swimmers should check in with their skipper on the morning of the event to make sure they are ready and getting into place. The starting swimmer needs to arrive at Cottesloe Beach at least 30 minutes before the start of their wave to ensure that they are prepared. Neither swimmers nor paddlers can be delivered to the beach by boat, and it is highly recommended you get someone to drop you off, as parking at Cottesloe on event morning can be very difficult. Paddlers wearing their life jackets as per the team's meet plan may enter from the north or south of the start line and should enter the water 5 to 10 minutes before the start of their swimmer's wave. The hooter will sound and then the swimmers are off. To take you through the all-important meet plan, here is Lockie Reid.
Thanks, Nat. One of the most important pre-race discussions to have is what your meet plan will be on race morning. Your meet plan should cover how the swimmer leaving the beach is going to find your paddler and then your support boats. Are they waiting for you on the north or south of the channel? Are you spotting them or are they spotting you? What differentiates you from others? What is your ETA? And once you have agreed on a meet plan, make sure you all stick to it come race morning.
The first 1,500 metres of your swim can be the most crowded and busy part of your crossing. To ensure that you get a great start, be sure that you and your support team have a plan to find each other on the water. This starts with matching up with your paddler who can guide you to your support vessel meeting point.
Think of creative and unique ways for your swimmer to spot you and your support boat, such as flags, bright colours, novelty hats and costumes. Keep in mind, balloons are not permitted for the duration of the event, and no item can be attached to the paddle craft that falls below the waterline. As long as your distinctive costumes are within the event rules, the world is your oyster. Just ensure the full team are aware of your race day plans. Don't forget to pick up your A6 sized race number stickers from your swimmer and display these clearly on your craft. It's suggested you add the sticker to a piece of recycled corflute. Otherwise, it might become a permanent feature of the craft.
Skippers, it will be easier to spot your paddler than your swimmer. Make sure to have a clear plan for swimmers and paddlers to meet up after the 500 metre yellow buoys and ensure those on the boat know what the paddler or paddler craft looks like, and vice versa. Support boats will be able to enter the channel after the 1,000 metre red buoys, and swimmers will have from this mark until the 1,500 metre icon vessel, the STS Lewin 2, to unite with their boat. All swimmers must be accompanied by a support boat and cannot swim beyond 1,500 metres if unaccompanied. Like swimmers, paddlers are not to proceed beyond the 1,500 metre icon vessel without their swimmer and support boat. If a reasonable time has passed and you still cannot find your swimmer or paddler, skippers should notify Channel Swim Base so that race officials can assist in locating them. Swimmers who reach the Lewin vessel without their support boat must tread water until their support boat arrives and may wait there for up to 20 minutes. There will be officials at the Lewin to assist swimmers in uniting with their support boats. If you haven't located your support boat by after 20 minutes, you will be taken back to Cottesloe and recorded as did not finish. Remember, paddlers can enter at 500 metres, boats enter at 1,000 metres, and swimmers, you must locate your boat before 1,500 metres. Once everyone has united, the skipper has the absolute responsibility for everyone on the boat, as well as their swimmers and paddler. Remember, the skipper is in charge.
It is the skipper's responsibility to make sure you and your boat are ready to go come race day. This includes ensuring the required safety equipment specified by the Department of Transport are on board. It is recommended that you give yourself enough time to sort out problems or repairs well before race day. Having a designated spotter is highly recommended. This ensures the swimmer is always kept in view and allows the skipper to focus on controlling the vessel and monitoring communications. Remember, you as the skipper are in charge. If you feel it is unsafe to do a changeover in areas of congestion, mainly at the Yellow Catamaran and Phillip Rock Gate, where the swim channel narrows and the currents can be at their strongest, this can be managed by being prepared and knowing early which swimmer will carry your team through this section so you can change over before the congestion. This swim leg may be longer than the preceding changeovers, so ensure your swimmer is ready and knows the plan to get through the gate.
Aside from hypothermia, swimming-induced pulmonary edema or SIPE presents a genuine risk for swimmers. It is a result of swimmers exerting themselves, lungs filling up with fluid and low oxygen levels, causing the body to eventually shut down. It is important your support crew know the signs and what to look for. You will find this and more information on how to prevent, detect and treat hypothermia and SIPE in the yearbook, as well as videos on the South32 Rottnest Channel Swim website. Preparation and awareness are critical, but don't be complacent and think it won't happen to you. Understanding the signs could save the life of you or a teammate.
Thanks, Lockie. After the skipper and support boat have met up with their swimmer and paddler, it's time to make your way to the island. It is important to plot a course before race day and make sure you stick to your plotted route. Tools such as the route optimisation tool will help customise the best course for you. The northern boundary marks the start of the rescue corridor and the ferry channel. The rescue corridor is the area designated immediately north of the northern boundary buoys. If assistance is required, radio Channel Swim Base and they may direct you to the rescue corridor in order to help rescue crews find you.
A key safety rule for the event is that all boats must remain south of the northern boundary. The northern boundary separates the fleet from our emergency rescue corridor, which is marked by red buoys. On event day, make sure you stay well south of the northern boundary. Failure to do so is a breach of the event rules and could result in you being disqualified. The emergency rescue corridor must stay clear at all times so that emergency response vessels can attend to incidents as quick as possible. The commercial ferries also use part of the corridor when entering and leaving Thompsons Bay. In 2021, due to strong swell, winds and current, we had up to 3/4 of the entire fleet beyond the northern boundary. This ultimately contributed to the cancellation of the event.
For all boats within the fleet, there is a speed limit of 6 knots, which must be adhered to. The fleet consists of boats of all sizes, and there are some key event rules that larger support boats greater than 10 metres in length or a yacht of any size need to adhere to. Larger vessels are required to stay to the north or south extremities of the fleet, but must remain south of the northern boundary. They must also have a tender to minimise manoeuvring and to deliver their swimmers to their plotted course. The tender skipper must also have their recreational skipper's ticket. Some other on-water protocols you need to be aware of are: if a swimmer or someone on your boat requires urgent medical attention, for example severe hypothermia, contact Channel Swim Base and await further instructions. If necessary, we can get an on-water ambulance to you in minutes. If you have a swimmer or support crew member who is unwell or is assessed as non-urgent, for example, if they are experiencing seasickness, it will be the skipper's responsibility to return to land. Please remember, on-water medical support vessels will not be able to provide assistance for seasickness. One of the most asked questions is what happens if there's a shark? If you see a shark, contact Channel Swim Base via VHF 74 and state the details of the sighting, approximate location on the swim course, and if you can, take note of your GPS coordinates. If you are unable to make radio contact, call the Channel Swim Base phone number provided on the Skipper Protocols document located in your race pack. Channel Swim Base will then give further instructions. Channel Swim Base will deploy vessels and the event helicopter to investigate the sighting and report back to the fleet. If the sighting is of high risk, then skippers within a specified radius will be notified and must remove their swimmers from the water immediately. If there is a shark attack, the event will be abandoned.
If the race committee believes swimmer safety is at risk due to a shark, we will implement an evacuation of swimmers from the water. This is not negotiable. Failure to comply will result in disqualification and a ban for you and your crew from future swims. If you are evacuated, re-entry will be facilitated to the west of the evacuation area if it is deemed safe by the race committee. Race officials will lay 2 pink buoys to create a re-entry gate for evacuated swimmers, and this location will be communicated to all skippers via radio and SMS.
When you're using your radio on event day, your call sign is your race number. For example, race number 100. Logging into Channel Swim Base on VHF 74 is not required. Remember to keep the volume on your radio turned up for the entire event and be careful not to leave your microphone on. VHF 74 is for event use only and should not be used for friendly banter or otherwise, particularly during an emergency situation. Please keep use of your radio to a minimum and only if you require assistance or to report something. If a radio is misused and the person is caught, strong sanctions will be enforced and the Department of Transport alerted. You must give way to commercial shipping at all times, including ferries. Ships shouldn't be moving through the Rottnest Channel on event day. However, if they are, Channel Swim Base will advise of shipping movements during the day via radio and push notifications. If you need to withdraw from the event for whatever reason, your skipper must inform Channel Swim Base via radio and your timing chips must be returned as soon as possible and before 5 p.m. on race day. You can return your timing chips to the help desk at the finish line, Rottnest Island, or the Marine Rescue Fremantle Operations Centre at Cantonment Hill, Burt Street in Fremantle. The spectacle of the day is incredible and it might be tempting to send up your drone to take a few photos. Don't. There are multiple event helicopters on race day and drones are banned across the course. Aside from your team being disqualified and facing possible fines, you put the lives of those there to protect you at risk, with the results of a collision being catastrophic. You can check out all this information and more in the yearbook and skipper protocols. There are some key event rules you need to familiarise yourself with and adhere to. It is a requirement for swimmers to reach the set marker buoys by the prescribed cut-off times found in the yearbook. They are set at 10 kilometres, 15 k's, 18 kilometres, 19 k's and 19.25 kilometre marks. Please note these cut-off times may change at the discretion of the event organisers. One of the key event rules, particularly for solos, pertains to non-assistance. Swimmers may not use or receive the benefit from any form of artificial swimming aid or assistance during the event. For solos, this means that when receiving food or fluids, you need to find ways not to touch your support boat or paddler.
Tandem solos need to be particularly conscious of the requirement to remain together throughout the entire event. In previous events, a number of tandem soloists were disqualified after it was found that they had not swum together and were up to 1 kilometre away from their support boat.
Changeovers for duos and teams need to be done at least 10 metres from the support boat, and swimmers must make contact above the water.
As mentioned previously, you need to ensure your changeovers are completed correctly or you risk disqualification. Tagging must be above the water in a visible manner. It is acceptable to use any part of the body when tagging, subject to the tag being above the water and visible.
It is so important when you're doing your changeover to ensure that your boat's engine is off or in neutral. It is imperative to focus on the communication between the swimmer, spotter and your skipper, and always wait for your skipper to confirm that the prop is off.
A very important rule to remember is that support boats must not make way astern. Put simply, your vessel must not move backwards. If a skipper needs to stop or slow their vessel's forward way, they are permitted to use reverse thrust. However, the vessel must not make way astern or move backwards at all. Skippers are not permitted to consume or be affected by alcohol during the event. Race officials, compliance and medical personnel are empowered to disqualify any entrant whose skipper breaches this event rule. Race official vessels will be clearly visible and race officials will be wearing bright orange. It is important for your own safety that you follow race official instructions at all times. Race officials enforce event rules and can ask a swimmer to leave the water if they breach the event rules or miss a cut-off. In addition to race officials, medical and safety personnel are authorised to enforce the event rules too. This includes medical personnel advising a swimmer to pull out. If you're a team or duo whose team member has to pull out, you can proceed with the remaining swimmers or swimmer, as the whole team is not required to cross the finish line. However, a soloist directed to stop swimming has unfortunately finished their attempt. Medical staff will not make this call lightly, so please listen to their direction, as it is for your safety and welfare. If advice from a race official or medical personnel is ignored, the swimmer, team or duo will be disqualified and banned from future events. Skippers may also face bans from future events.
It's so important to listen to your support crew, event volunteers and safety personnel on the event day. They have your best interest in mind and want you to succeed. While it might seem obvious now, come the hustle, bustle and rush of the event day, it's important you listen to the people who are there to keep you safe.
Follow all the event rules and directions of officials and you will be fine. We want everyone to be safe and to finish, so familiarise yourself with the event rules in the yearbook or online. With all the details on how you are going to finish the swim, here is Lockie Reid.
Thanks, Nat. As you get closer to the island, the fleet will start funneling and it can become congested. All swimmers and paddlers must enter Thompson Bay through the 18-kilometre yellow catamaran and Phillip Rock Gate. Yachts, as well as powerboats that are 10 metres or greater, must leave their swimmer and paddler and proceed to their pre-arranged post-race location. Either a tender or paddler must accompany the swimmer until they reach the finish. Powerboats that are less than 10 metres may also leave at this point. However, the same conditions will apply. Swimmers must be accompanied by either a tender or paddler until they reach the finish.
For support boats, when approaching the 18-kilometre Yellow Catamaran and Phillip Rock Gate, and on your way to the finish line, make sure you start to navigate towards the north or south side of the finish channel, depending on your post-race destination. If your post-race destination is on the south side of Thompson Bay, then you must be on the south side of the finish channel. Similarly, if your post-race destination is on the north side of Thompson Bay, then you must be on the north side of the finish channel. The finish channel is narrow and as a result quickly becomes congested. Switching from the north to the south side of the finish channel after the 18-kilometre gate is extremely dangerous for swimmers in the water.
At the 19-kilometre no boats mark, all support boats must peel off and leave their swimmers to finish. Paddlers will accompany their swimmers for a further 250 metres and will depart to the south only at the 19.25-kilometre Rottnest Express buoys. Swimmers will then complete the final 400 metres, supported by surf lifesavers. This final 400 metres is guided by a buoy line down either side. Swimmers should use the finishing arc on the shore as their sighting point and guides. Before event day, you should also consider your post-event meet plan to reunite with your team on the island. Make sure to consider that paddlers can only leave to the south of the channel when planning where to meet up. There is a designated area for paddle crafts located south of the finish line. Paddle crafts in this area must be removed by 5 p.m. on event day. The Rottnest Island Authority has allocated a competitor boat-only area just north of the fuel jetty. This will work on a first-in, first-served basis. You must have a South32 Rottnest Channel Swim boat sticker and a suitably sized boat to be able to anchor there. This area should be able to hold about 50 boats. Please do not anchor outside the marked area as it blocks emergency service vessel access. Loading zones are available for pick-up and drop-off only. This includes the T-jetty on the main jetty, the fuel jetty and the hotel jetty. These drop-off areas are signed and have a strict 5-minute drop-off limits. In regard to mooring use, you are not permitted to use moorings unless you have obtained authorisation from the Rottnest Island Authority. Further to this, please do not raft up boats on moorings or tie multiple boats alongside each other. The RIA Rangers will be patrolling to ensure safety and compliance with fines applicable for incorrect mooring use. You also need to be aware that there is no beach anchoring between the fuel and hotel jetties between 6 p.m. Friday and 6 p.m. Saturday. There will also be no fuel available from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. on event day. Unleaded and diesel fuel will be available after 5 p.m. All boats displaying the South32 Rottnest Channel Swim race sticker will have their landing fee waived thanks to the Rottnest Island Authority in acknowledgement of the incredible role support crews play in getting swimmers safely to the island. Accommodation for event day is booked and it is against the Rottnest Island Authority regulations to remain on the island without designated accommodation. It's important not to forget general housekeeping, be safe, friendly and courteous, plan ahead, respect and look after the beautiful island of Wadjamup.
Thanks, Lockie. Now we will cover the finish line.
The swimmer wearing your team's timing chip must pass through the finish line arch to record the finish time. Ensure the timing chip is collected by an event volunteer in the competitor area. Any swimmer from a duo or a team can wear the timing strap to the finish, and not all swimmers need to cross the finish line for the duo or the team to be recorded as finished.
If you are unwell after the swim, please visit the medical tent located within the competitor area. Spend some time in the South32 recovery area for some recovery snacks and relaxation before rejoining with your support crew and spectators. Prize packs for solos and category prizes are to be collected from the help desk and prize collection tent next to the South32 supporter zone. Duo and team prize winners will be sent text messages. Category prizes can be collected between 2 p.m. and 5 p.m. You will also find the massage tent right next door, providing swimmers with complimentary treatments. At 5 p.m, all soloists will then return to the finish line for the annual soloist photo. Being in this photo is a well-earned badge of honour, so don't miss out. The 2024 awards presentation will then commence at 5:30 p.m. That almost wraps up this special edition of 10 News First. Here's Bo Pearson with the weather forecast.
Thanks, Nat. On Saturday, the 24th of February, the conditions will be absolutely perfect. The sun shining and a strong easterly sending you all the way over to Rottnest Island. Or they could be completely different. Either way, you can't worry about the weather and you need to be prepared to race on whatever conditions are dished up. You can get regular updates on the event website, and you can also tune in to 10 News First as we get a better idea closer to the event of what the conditions are looking like. Weather is unpredictable and the race committee will make a call on event morning if the conditions are suitable to proceed. If they're not suitable or if they're said to deteriorate, the event might be cancelled. This has only happened once in the past 33 events. A text message will be sent between 4 and 5 a.m. on the event day to advise whether or not it's set to proceed. This will be sent to team captains and skippers. The message will also be communicated via VHF 74 and sent as a push notification. Should the event be cancelled, do not disregard the decision. The only reason the event would be cancelled is because it is unsafe to proceed. Please note there will be no refunds if the event is cancelled, but entrants will be offered a guaranteed entry into the 2025 event. Thanks, Nat. That's all on the weather front.
Thanks, Bo. There is a lot to think about when participating in the South32 Rottnest Channel Swim as a skipper, swimmer, paddler or support crew member. Please take some time to read through the yearbook as it has everything you need to know to help you prepare for this incredible event and get to Wodgem safely. From all of us at 10, we wish you a safe and successful crossing.